Well, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall get. Knock and the door will be opened unto you. For everyone who asks achieves, and everyone who seeks gets, and the door is opened unto him who knocks. A biblical verse that I spoke as a student of around 4th or 5th standard without actually much understanding what it means. But yes, when I discovered it, I was surprised, oh wow, it works. And then came none other than our very dear Shah Rukh Khan convincing us that जब किसी चीज़ को दिल से चाहो तो सारी कायनात तुम्हें वो दिलाने में लग जाती है. As a teenager though, I grew up listening to the preachings of Gita by Sri Pandurang Shastri Athavale, and thanks to Utpal for doing all those explanations to Wright brothers. He was the one also who believed that those who can see the invisible, like the Wright brothers, can actually do the impossible. I believe all of this works because of the power of visualization. Then, what is visualization? Visualization is seeing future images for yourself, what you wish to achieve in those times of future. You don't only need to see it, you need to hear those sounds of that future moment. You need to smell the aroma of that moment. You need to breathe it, you need to taste it, you need to feel that moment. That's visualization in the beginning. Having done this, you're daydreaming and build the perfect castles in the air. It's not wrong to build castles in the air, right? You just need to lay foundations beneath them. And how do you lay foundations beneath the castles that you built in the air? By talking to the right people about your dream, the visualization that you wish to see in your future. You ask those people who can help you how to achieve that dream. Ask them the pros and cons, the rights and the wrongs related to the dreams that you wish to achieve. Foundations intact, the most important ingredient still pending in your visualization is have faith. Because life's battle don't always go to the stronger or the faster man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. All of this landed me into amazing moments of eureka moments. Yes, I strongly believe. Why do you want to have the eureka moment in your life? You can have eureka moments day in and day out. I have eureka moments when I see a sparkle in the eyes of the students convincing me that yes, they've got that weird subject economics and the concept right through clear. I get my eureka moment when my kid eats spinach or bitter gourd and tells me, wow mom, the subject was good. I get my eureka moment when my hubby's sitting here. We are in a social circle and somebody just comes and compliments me for some of my achievements and he gives me a subtle smile, tells me, come on, I know that. I have my eureka moment when on my back, my in-laws go and praise to my parents like, wow, your daughter is wonderful. Those are my eureka moments. All of these landed me into wonderful feelings. I guess I'm one of the God's most cuddled, cushioned child to have been blessed throughout the little life that I've lived through. My amazing parents who had dreamt of teaching the kids well, and I landed into amazing education. 2 of my cousins, as I said, just the right people come in the right time to help you. My one cousin, Mr. Rupesh Chauhan, he came and started asking me, so what do you want to become once you're big? I said, I want to become a teacher, my lifelong dream. He says, okay, what kind of a teacher? I says, okay, I don't have the patience to teach small kids. It's enough for me to handle one, my own. And then he said, okay, then what level? I said, fine, I think I can convince the elder ones. That's the only patience that I have on the earth. Then he says, okay, then you need to clear your NET and PhD, and I get both just in the first trial. An amazing thing that I wish to share with you. This guy, Mr. Rupesh Chauhan, 2 months ago, I sent to him a TEDx video of Mr. Devdutt Patnaik, a very famous video on TED. I sent him through for his suggestions, and then when he returned back with the mail, he tells me how I wish to see you someday on TED. Less than a week, I get the invitation from TEDx Sabarmati. Visualization works. My another cousin, Mr. Kaushik Chauhan, taught me how to focus and see the deadline-bound dreams. He would tell me, by this time you should do this, by this time you should do this. At the age of 22, I cleared NET in the first trial, and I could achieve my PhD with a 4-year-old kid at the age of 27. Well, visualization is not about erasing the existing line. It's not even about drawing a bigger line than the existing line. It's just about drawing your own line. Why should it have been bigger or smaller than the existing line? What's more important is that it's your line. Came the time for me to get married to a lovely, amazing husband, and I'm so proud that he's here, and I'm sure he'll pardon me for having said this. Some mistakes are too much fun to make only once. I'm sure he agrees with the first half of it, that marriage was a mistake. Sorry for this. And But I'm sure he'll not agree with the second half of it, that he dare not do it again. But I'm sure he's a cute heart, jokes kept apart. And my kid, generally you see kids, mothers adjusting with the kids. My kid is amazing, he adjusts with me. An amazing joint family that I get into, because I believe marriages are not between two people, it's between two families. My mother-in-law and father-in-law, my father-in-law might not still be sure of the degrees that I achieved, but I'll tell you one thing. Once when I was about to go to my lecture, it was important for me to post a courier to my guide. He packed it so well that I get a compliment from my guide that, who packed it? It is so amazing. My mother-in-law has taught my kid, if mom's available, you need to love her. If she's not available, you still need to love her. My younger cousin, who came all the way from Ahmedabad to Bhavnagar just to repair my broken laptop. My amazing guide was a perfect combination of knowledge, modesty, wisdom. I'm sure I visualized that I needed a wonderful guide who can actually squeeze me out. Teaching, that's how I get into this profession, and I presently teach managerial economics, Indian business environment, and communication skills. I guess you cannot understand these subjects unless you know how to visualize. Like managerial economics is visualizing demand, what would be your demand, what prices would you sell into, what income levels would you compete, and what would be the competitors' prices. You need to visualize what kind of markets are you going to land into, because unless you know what number of players you're going to work with, how do you know what would be your strategies? Similarly, Indian business environment, which teaches you to visualize the times that are going to come. Unless you know what are going to be the social environment, how are you going to deal with it? And then there's this beautiful subject, communication skills. I tell my students to visualize just the night prior to your presentation. You need to visualize how you're going to walk down your venue, what dressing are you going to be into, what perfume are you going to carry, how are you going to smile to the audience as you begin, and what content, how are you going to carry it. And then there's this beautiful angle of the spiritual visualization. I learned it from this beautiful book from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, who speaks in this book that you're a soul with a body and not a body with a soul. You are a spiritual being having a human experience and not a human being having a spiritual experience. Imagine what mind-boggling a concept. Imagine stepping yourself out of this body and seeing yourself as if in a picnic. Only in the Indian context, if I were to believe the statistics and the life expectancy, this picnic lasts for 66.8 years in India. But can you imagine yourself as being on a picnic in the life? And then on the picnics, when you go for a one-day picnic, do you do this? Surely not. How do you react when you are facing a criticism? On a criticism, if it was possible, you would have counter-criticized. But if it was not possible, you're surely going to keep your grudges. But see what you're doing to yourself. It's like a nightmare. I'm sure some of you would have had this at some moment of time. You get up in the middle of the night, seeing this nightmare where somebody's actually stabbed you in your stomach. You come out all on your sweat, your heart throbbing. The first thing that you do is check on your thought to it. Those people who would live inside there would have some perception that probably he's doing some bullying against me, or probably he's done it. And so they counter-react. But only once when they're out, they realize probably all of that was only my perception. Similarly, in your life, when you're thinking about it this way, imagine when you would be actually seeing the video of your life, you should not have been regretted whatever you did. And probably if we understood this, we would understand the brilliant lesson taught by Gandhiji, tolerance, because I guess, as it said, the Third World War could only be stopped by tolerance, not by love, actually. Oh, it's enough if we just tolerate it. I get back to my final question, how we started it. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall get. But I guess having learned that you're a soul with a body, more important the questions are, what are you asking for? What do you see? Which door are you knocking at? Thank you.